This is good. Thank you. This is good.
Hello. Hello. Are we missing people here? I guess we are. Huh? Hopefully they can show up. Great. Oh, we got it. See.
Yeah, we're good.
Start. Hey, welcome everyone. Call our town meeting to order if I could. And where's my, oh. Before we start with the meeting, we need to have an election of a moderator, nominations from the floor. Thank you. Any other nominations? Hearing none, we'll close the nominations. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? So moved. Okay, nominations are closed. So our eligibility to vote, any person who was an elector of such town and any citizen of the United States of the age of 18 years or more who jointly or severally who was liable to the town for taxes assessed against him or her on assessment of not less than $1,000 on the last completed grand list of such town, reference to Connecticut General Statute, Section 7-6. So Kate, read the legal notice.
Special meeting of the electors and citizens qualified to vote in town meetings of the town of Berlin will be held on Berlin Town Hall, Council Chambers, 240 Kensington Road, Berlin, Connecticut, on Tuesday, September 17th, 2024, at 6:45 p.m. for the following purposes. 1, to approve a non-budget appropriation of $360,000 from the general fund unassigned fund balance FY25 to the Farmington Avenue non-grant account in the Economic Development Fund. Number 2, to approve a non-budget appropriation of $75,000 from the general fund unassigned fund balance FY25 to the Volunteer Fire Department grant account for the purpose of the purchase of property adjacent to the Kensington Volunteer Fire Department, dated at Berlin, Connecticut, this day of September 2024.
All right, thank you, Kate. Okay, so now we have a resolution to come before our town meeting.
A non-budgeted appropriation of $360,000 from the general fund unassigned balance fund fiscal year 25 to the Farmington Avenue non-grant account in the economic development.
Okay, that's the first one. Should we read them both, Kate, together, I guess, or no? We're
No,
separately? Separately. Okay, so that's the first one. Second on that, yes. Okay, thank you. So now discussion on that resolution before we discuss it. Maybe Jim, could you give us a little explanation?
Yes. So this is for the 55 Steel Boulevard project, the environmental remediation. The site is owned by the town. The town's selling it to Newport for development of 50 units of housing. And we've been working on this project, the environmental remediation, for quite some time. Had run into some challenges, both with the environmental side and also structurally to support the new building. So we had applied for an additional grant of $360,000 from the state to assist with the project. That grant was initially awarded, but then the state decided that they couldn't do a grant, but they could do a forgivable loan. So now we're pursuing the forgivable loan that's been approved, and we've signed a financial assistance proposal related to the loan, but it's going to take a while to process the loan. And now that we finally, yesterday, got this project restarted, we restarted the project with a change order with a contractor, but it's capped at $1,082,000. So we want to remove the cap to make sure that the contractor can complete the job, and Newport can then go forward to start its building, which they will actually be starting with the remediation project, and hopefully come out of the ground by the end of the year. And also, in the long run, if we need additional contingency after the state funds come in, this would be a source for that, which we hope we don't, but it's always good to have additional contingency for an environmental project.
Okay, thank you. Yes, so discussion, questions for Jim? Or, I mean, we've all been dealing with this project for a very, very long time with this, certainly with the environmental issues too. And Newport has been doing a great job there. We want to wrap this up so they could get their last building started, which would be great. So any other questions from anyone, comments? Nobody's online there. Yes, please.
Talking about the right resolution here.
Yes. The three,
One as opposed to number 2.
yeah, what did he read? Which did he read? The number one, the 360. That's what he, yeah, that's the one. Yeah. Oh, no, we're good. Any other thoughts, questions? Nothing? No discussion from the audience there? Hearing none. We'll go ahead and vote on the resolution. So, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right, so that carries. So now we'll go ahead and read the second resolution.
Number 2, to approve a non-budgeted appropriation of $75,000 from the general fund unassigned fund balance in fiscal year 25 to the volunteer fire department grant account for the purchase of property adjacent to the Kensington Volunteer Fire Department.
All right, thank you. Second on that? Thanks. So some discussion on this. Jim, do you want to just give us a recap too on this one?
Sure. So the driveway to the Kensington Fire Department has long been located on the adjacent property. And the adjacent property owner has, allowed that. But at this point, it's important to, resolve that issue finally and secure that access for the fire department, particularly in light of the fact that we repaved the entrance last year. And the parties negotiated and resolved a purchase price for the land involved at $75,000.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so we've been using a easement from Matson's company there since the 70s, I think. They've allowed us to use that land for the fire department, so things are changing, and so it would be good to get this property back we're given obviously a grant to the fire department. They're gonna purchase it and they will now own it forever and ever, so we won't have to worry about access to and from our fire department, which is pretty important. And plus, this is a pretty good deal. It would cost the town more to fix it and of course rip up, as you said, Jim. We just paved that whole parking lot for them last year. We'd have to rip all that up, move signal boxes, all kind of stuff we'd have to do to give the easement, that piece of property, back to Matson. So he was very agreeable, as he has been all these years, the Matson family, to the town, to the fire department. So it's a good deal. Everybody's, I think, I'm going to say it, happy with this deal. This is great to get that done. And again, a good thing for the town and the fire department. So that's where we're at. Any other comments, questions? Yeah, Don.
I think we should thank Matson family.
Absolutely.
All these decades.
Yes, they did. Yeah, yeah, it's good. It'll be good for everybody. So anyone else? We good? Anybody else in the audience? Okay. So we'll go ahead and take a vote on this resolution. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing no one. Okay, so that motion carries. And that concludes our special meeting, and the meeting is now adjourned. Thank you. Just give us a few minutes and we'll start the town council meeting. Thank you. Okay, go ahead and call this, our town council meeting to order. If we could rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, Kate?
Council Atkinson?
Here.
Council Paula?
Here.
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 Council Rothman?
Here.
Here.
Thank you, Kate. So I'd just like to read before our audience of citizens, we have First Responders Day coming up where we honor our first responders here in Berlin. It takes place at the Kensington Fire Department on September 28th. Breakfast, make some presentations for our first responders, I mean EMS, police, and fire. So I just want to read this proclamation, which I'll read that day as well, but a lot of folks don't hear it. So first responders, both career and volunteer, include law enforcement officers, firefighters, emergency, medical technicians, 911 dispatchers, and search and rescue personnel who bravely and selflessly risk their lives every day to protect families, our visitors, and businesses. First responders do not hesitate to risk their own lives in order to save the lives of others, and their commitment to continue training, skill enhancement, and interagency cooperation make them prepared to serve, protect, and rescue other citizens 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. First responders are a vital part of every community, maintaining safety and order in times of crisis and volunteering in our schools and community organizations. Acts of kindness and appreciation from citizens provide first responders needed encouragement and support to confront the dangerous and uncertain situations they face every day. So it's resolved by myself, by virtue of authority as the mayor in Berlin. We do hereby thank and applaud all of our first responders here in Berlin, in the state, and of course around the country for all their selfless acts of honor and bravery. So that date of the 28th, which is the day of the breakfast for our first responders. So just want to make everyone aware of that. I think it starts at 7 o'clock, I believe, at the Kensington Firehouse. So look forward to that. Now we're at our audience of citizens. So anybody just on the sign-up sheet, Kate?
You could, after the sign up.
After the sign-up, she can. So we'll start with Rich Gagliardi. Come on up, Rich.
Good evening, counselors.
How are you?
Name is Rich Gagliardi. I live at 1278 High Road, Kensington section of town. I'm also Vice President of the Berlin Land Trust. I'm before you once again tonight, along with other Berlin Land Trust directors and members, to encourage the town of Berlin's acquisition of parcel 25-4-74-49 just off of and set a ways back on the Chamberlain Highway. David Voigt and myself met with the Conservation Commission last week and discussed this particular acquisition with the commissioners in attendance at that meeting. While they did not have a quorum for their meeting, all of the members present went on record and voted in favor of acquiring this scenic property and including it as part of the Blue Hills Conservation Area. As I mentioned to you at our last meeting, the Berlin Land Trust will donate $20,000 to the town to assist with the acquisition of this property, including any of the related expenses that the town may incur in the completion of this acquisition. In exchange for this donation, we are, however, requesting that we be granted a conservation agreement naming the Berlin Land Trust as the protector of the 15.74 acre property. I'd like to thank you for listening to my appeal once again tonight, and we look forward to a positive outcome in this matter for the town of Berlin. Many thanks for your thoughtful consideration of this very important endeavor.
Thanks, Rich. Dennis, Mr. Dennis Kern.
Evening, Mr. Mayor, councilors.
How are you, Dennis?
Dennis Kern, 57 Cider Mill Road in Kensington, which is part of Berlin. At any rate, I'm the president of the Berlin Land Trust. I appreciate Rich's comments. They're very pointed and very accurate. I want you to understand that the Berlin Land Trust regards this particular piece at lot 25-4 as very important. Very important as an acquisition for open space. The point of open space is to protect the land. Land is best protected by ownership. And we think that the town is an appropriate owner for this piece. It abuts other pieces of open space. The studies indicate that open space is best connected so that you have one piece, all connected, and that makes a big difference for the flora, the fauna, and in general, the people who are out and enjoying it. We're not suggesting that hiking be put there. If the town at some point in time wants to do a circular hike, there is the Blue Trail passes through there, that's fine. I think that Mr. Mahoney has done some research on the parking. We think that the parking is adequate for this particular purpose. In fact, it may not need any parking because if it's open space and there's no trails, and presently there are no trails, the need for parking is somewhat nominal. At any rate, please support this. The grant from the Land Trust is in an amount of $20,000, as Rich indicated. It could be used for expenses as well as part of the cost of the land. So we're open to any use of it. A conservation easement that we're asking for is a standard conservation easement. It simply gives us a reason to give you grant because we're a nonprofit. Believe me, we're a nonprofit. So it gives us the reason, the MO to do that. So please support this acquisition. The town has a great deal of open space. It's our position that the town can use more, and this is an ideal acquisition as far as we're concerned. So we ask for your support, and we do remind you that Mr. Mahoney will be applying for an OSWA grant. We already have had an OSWA grant on Lamentation Mountain. It's a difficult process, but it's one that Jim has done before. So and I think that this land cries out to be saved, and I think that the OSWA grant will be awarded to the town. And that's whatever percentage it is currently. So that the town's output, at our 20,000 with the grant, the town's output is not a great deal of money. Thank you very much for your consideration of this opportunity for the town.
Thanks, Dennis. Don't go. I got a question for you while you're here.
I'm here.
Just while you're here. You know, our property over on the Berlin Turnpike, the Lamentation Mountain trailhead there.
Yes.
So do you know, because I know you guys keep track of that quite a bit, all things like that. Has anything changed there? Is there still a no trespassing sign?
I've just heard, Dave Boyd sent me an email today. I just heard that the no trespassing sign has finally come down.
Okay,
So
okay,
that's good.
that is good.
And you probably know that a group of interested people are meeting at the Department of DEEP.
Yeah,
They had an extra E in there for some reason.
yes, I know they like that.
We'll be meeting on the 24th of September at 9 o'clock in the morning. Now,
Oh.
I'm hoping to get there by 9 o'clock. That's another issue. But by 9 o'clock, we're going to meet with some other interested parties, and we're asking the state to consider using part of that land for a trailhead. In other words, so we can park on that. If we can get that permission from the state, if the state will support us, then we don't have to look for access on Spruce Brook Road and a few other areas because we'll have access within the town of Berlin,
On the turn.
right on the turnpike.
Nice,
So
okay.
we're hoping the state will move in that direction. We may
Right.
come before you again, asking for a resolution to that effect in the future.
Well, happy to do that. That's good news. I'm glad I kept you up here. See, I knew there was a reason why you came tonight, beside the first reason.
Wonderful to have trails.
Yeah.
Trails are meaningful, but we need access.
Yes, agreed.
People can walk as from Kensington, with all due respect to Kensington residents, they can't walk over to Lamentation Mountain and
Right.
then enjoy the hike. So
Right.
we need to have a place
Yeah.
for them to be able to park.
Have you heard anything else? Because there are a couple, right, a building and a basketball court on state
We have
property?
not heard. We may learn something on the 20.
Okay, great.
We
Okay,
have
yeah,
not heard.
yeah, Donna,
Negotiating.
okay, good,
Mr. Mayor,
yes,
It is in the AG's office right now.
Ah, okay.
Because I did inquire.
Oh,
with it
great.
The past couple of days.
good.
So, that's last I heard, that it's being investigated by the AG's office.
We're hopeful that that situation, which was frankly, from our point of view, atrocious,
Hmm,
We're hopeful.
agreed.
that situation
Yes.
will be resolved in favor of the town and the town's interest in and
Yeah.
the residents' interest in Lamentation Mountain.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful mountain.
Yeah.
It's a great state park, but we should use it for access.
Yes, that's what, bless you, Kate. Thank you, Dennis, that's good news, that's good news, yeah, great. Melissa Davis, come on up.
Also here to talk about Lot 49. My name is Melissa Davis. I live at 53 Westview Terrace in Berlin. I volunteer for the Berlin Land Trust because I want to preserve habitat for wildlife. I went to the cul-de-sac on Summit Wood Road to look at Lot 49, and judging from what I could see at the road, it really seems like a very healthy forest that could support a lot of life. So I do hope you'll vote to purchase the property. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's all our, and Mr. Tony, we're done with our sign-up sheet. You missed the sign-up sheet, but it's okay. It's all right. It's all good.
Thank you.
We'll let it go this time, just this time, Tony, yeah. Yeah.
Mr. Mayor, Town Council.
How are you?
Town Council members, just a quick thank you for your ongoing and continued support of our project and the approval of the appropriation of the funds that were requested tonight. So we do appreciate that. And just kind of a quick update. I went by the site tonight and we do see activity happening again on 55 Steel Boulevard. And it's mine and Mark's goal to get our financing all pulled together, which we're in the middle of right now, and to get some vertical construction by the end of the year, if not in January, depending on winter conditions. So, you know, with your support, you're going to continue to see our support in getting Steel Center completed, Mayor Mark.
Well, that's great to get that done. It's a great development so far, and we look forward to it being finished, yeah.
We appreciate the support
Thanks.
as always. Thank you.
Thanks. And it's certainly been a long road with the, the contamination there. That's been the longest part of it, but we're getting to the end, which is great. So anyone else in the audience wishes to speak on any topic? Don't all rush the podium at once. No one online that's raising their hands. We're good here. So we'll go ahead and close our audience of citizens, and just a few things on the mayor's update very quickly before we get going to our consent agenda. Just I think Mark's on here. I'm looking for Mark. He's not here, but we were asking, Mark was asking, we all are waiting for the update on the feasibility study for the memorial pool, right, in East Berlin there. So I think they're coming hopefully to the next council meeting. They're still studying that, where we're looking at the pool, we're looking at a splash pad over there. So that should be coming to us shortly, which is good.
Mayor, if I can
yeah,
interrupt you.
yes.
Woody and Jen are.
Yeah. Oh, Woody.
available.
Oh, yeah,
So I don't know if you want to have Woody come up at this point, just.
sure. He's already halfway here. So yeah, he's always happy to come up. Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, good. That's fine. Yeah.
All you, Stephen.
And then there's Jen. There we go. Look at that.
It's all you, Steve.
We talked to Luke from KBA today, trying to get a guideline of exactly where we are time frame wise. There's been a delay with getting all the information back for what's going on with the pool, how to transition the pool possibly into the splash pad, just because it's their busiest time of the season. So we should hopefully have something in the latter part of October, hopefully complete report no later than the first meeting in November, just to be transparent.
Well,
So we can come back and Luke is willing to come in October with an update, or we can come back once we have all the information.
might as well wait for all the info.
Perfect. So what they've kind of done so far is they've done an assessment of the building, finding out that it's not ADA compliant. There is no fire suppression system. The building looks like it possibly might have some structural damage to it where some of the walls look like they're shifting and bowing. So they're gonna look into, does it make more sense to take the building down and rebuild a new building? What exactly we want to do with that? And then transitioning over to the pickleball and tennis courts, they've reached the end of their life. The fence is no longer usable and viable. That's no good. If they were to resurface or redo anything with the basketball, the tennis courts and pickleball courts, that would be short-lived and be a waste of money. We'd probably get 1 or 2 years out of it. So their recommendation with that, which we knew is mill to base, either go with post-tension concrete, which we'll get 20-25 years out of, or we can go with regular amosite and asphalt. And we'll probably get same as the track, 5 to 7 years out of them before they need to be resurfaced. So I think that covers everything from
Right.
Luke's update today, John.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay. Appreciate it.
So we will be
Yeah.
back as soon as we have all the information.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Guys,
We're good.
with Luke with a great presentation.
Excellent.
All right,
Thank you.
Any
Yeah.
other questions for me?
No, I think we're good. No, I think we're good, Woody. Appreciate it. Another thing I just wanted to mention, Donna, you and I, we've been, still working on the Bright Feeds issue. We did send your legislative aide, right, sent out a update to the residents, I think last week or so. That right, DEEP they're basically under inspection by DEEP, right? I'll let you, just so you know better than me.
So basically, they have been cited. They are, being watched. They will be visited several times, probably over the next month or two, of course, unannounced. And really, it's in their hands right now. So until DEEP decides that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing or not doing what they're supposed to be doing, and then we as a town can move forward after DEEP's made their decision. So right now, everyone's been notified that have come to the meetings here to let them know that we are working on this. So it is a process. I'm sorry it's taking as long as it is. But we just, we can't make them cease until we have good hard facts that they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, and it's still, it's the odor issue.
Yeah, it's the odor issue. I don't think it's the noise issue anymore. And
but-
that was, they were
Yeah,
cited on the
the
smell
okay,
as
yeah,
opposed to the
okay.
noise.
Well, that's good.
So,
I mean, not good, but I mean, it's not they have tried to fix both, right? The
Right.
company has put in equipment for the noise and
Mhm.
the smell.
so we are
But-
staying on top of DEEP to be informed as soon as they go back again to let us know what's going on.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, appreciate that
and thank
update.
you to the police department that goes out there every time we get a phone call.
Yes,
We appreciate that, and I'm sorry, but I know you have bigger fish to fry, so to speak, but it is what it is. Thank you.
Appreciate that. And speaking of the police department, I know you were looking into it, the noise monitoring equipment. I think Deputy Chief Drew, you mentioned that, right? You haven't bought it yet, right? Or yeah, you should just come up for 1 minute.
You know, you're
Yeah, you're gonna have to come up. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Identify yourself.
Or Chief, you can come up, whatever you want. Yeah, whatever you want. No, you got the drill down,
We have had a couple complaints. We've sent officers
Okay,
and we haven't even needed the equipment because the officers where the complaints were made could not hear anything at all.
okay,
They couldn't hear anything till they actually went onto the property in the area where the machines are operating. So
okay.
any complaints that we've had up to this point have all been unfounded.
With the noise,
As far as
noise,
just in relation to noise.
noise.
Yes.
Okay, and you've,
Correct.
I'm assuming, because we've certainly heard about complaints about the odor still. Have you heard some of those or no?
Yes.
Okay.
One of the officers indicated in the report that he could smell an odor.
Okay.
There-
Yeah, I've smelled, it's still
I've-
around a little bit, yeah. I don't think it's very consistent though, like day to day,
No,
right?
I think it's very strange. I think that it depends on. the
Depends on
wind,
weather
what they're
patterns
looking,
and
You know, the
and-
whole thing.
Exactly. I think
Okay.
there's a lot of different factors. in that,
yep.
But noise is not the.
Not been an issue so far, so we appreciate you guys again taking those complaints and know it's
Sure,
not the,
no problem.
probably, it's important. And then you're gonna look for some equipment though, are you still looking to buy some just so, and not just for this, just so we have it for,
We have,
yeah,
exactly.
for whatever else you're looking for, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
appreciate that. Thank you, Drew. So that takes care of that. Real quick, just, we had a letter, I'll just bring it up because we just kind of talked about it, I guess, earlier. Senator Lope's office had got a complaint, which I know we're working on. You probably have something to update us with. Maybe we'll just do it now, but so we've been over there before. It's Scarborough Fair, that neighborhood on the other side of the Berlin Turnpike there. There's been complaints from different residents against other residents. That's a homeowners association. Most of it should fall to the homeowners association, quite frankly. But that they're going into the conservation easement and kind of taking it for their property, and they're changing the area, digging things up, doing things. So there's a couple different houses that folks living in it appear to be doing that. So we've been working on it, but now they wrote Senator Lopes, and he just sent it to us saying, hey, please look at this, which we already are. So yeah, you might as well just, if there's a quick update while we're talking about it, we don't have to do it later.
Maureen, obviously,
Yeah.
and Paul are kind of tag teaming on this to try to get it expedited. I received a email from Paul today. Can you hear me? How about now?
Better. I think it's better now. Yeah.
Confirming receipt of the letter from Senator Lope's office regarding the complaint, which is adjacent to 111 Scarborough Fair. This is a matter that has been dealing with the last year. He walked the property with Ms. Kelly and the engineering tech to observe the violation and to survey the limitations of the conservation easement. After the visit, we notified the parties responsible for the violation and requested a restoration plan for the trees and other vegetation that had been removed from the conservation easement. He will check back with Warden Court Homeowners Association for an update on the restoration of this conservation area. And I know Maureen is working on some initiatives as well, so we can certainly update the council again, either at the next meeting. Or
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, that's good. So we can take care of that. Thank you. That's great. I know we've been working on it. So, okay, thank you. And then just two other things that are a little bit more disturbing, maybe. Well, that's all disturbing, but I guess at our, we had a letter written for a gentleman at Percival Heights in our senior housing there, and they have a bit of a bed bug problem, which is not a good thing. And he came to social services, and we're trying to get that exterminated there, and it might have spread to some other units, but and that happens, and that's going to happen, and they're going to take care of it this week, I believe, right, Lee? So, but what's more disturbing is it's been going on since the beginning of August. So I don't know why. I guess it got reported to the housing authority. Of course, they have a management company that manages their locations. This is the one at the senior center, and the gentleman had gone into the senior center, as unfortunately bed bugs spread very easily to folks in other units. So the gentleman's been dealing with it, he's an elderly gentleman. So that's been disturbing that they still haven't taken care of it, which I guess, the 19th, this coming, a couple days from now, they're going to take care of it. And I assume they're going to look at the other units that may be affected as well. And I'm just curious, do we know who, because in the correspondence here, supposedly from the management center of the housing authority there, the management company said they had to pay for it, but isn't it on the
There was some
housing authority to pay for it?
dispute
Yeah, okay,
that
okay,
has now been resolved,
okay,
and Doug and I actually paid a personal visit
okay,
to the on-site property manager.
okay,
Had a very, I think, productive meeting, and hopefully moving forward, there'll be a lot more communication. If it's an issue that touches upon, whether it's fair housing or the housing authority, to make sure that we're in sync on some of these things that
Yeah.
impact both areas.
yeah. Because the month and a half to get the bed bug spray, that just is, obviously probably spreading them more. That's not good.
I just received that letter last Thursday.
Yeah, no, we just got the letter, so we weren't aware of the town, but the housing authority, I assume was, because the lady who wrote the letter, who was his power of attorney, said she's been talking to them, so probably have some further discussions on that too. So appreciate you looking into it, and it's gonna get handled this week in a couple days. Again, way too long, not good for this poor gentleman as well as other residents there, so we have to look into that a little bit further. And then while we're here, maybe just the last issue would be the generator, since we're talking about the senior housing. So wait, now it was delayed for a long time, nothing to do with town staff. It was kind of on the housing authority, right? They wanted a generator for power at Percival Heights. We found a generator in town, we fixed it up, it was all ready to go. The housing authority just, I don't know, never got it done. I don't know how else to put it. And so anyway, we decided the town would just pay for the install. You know, we gave them the generator from the town to them, and the install still not done. So what do we think? Yeah, that's great.
And I actually have, Doug is on the line as
Okay.
well, but we did get a up-to-date, it just came in today, time frame from Northeast Generator. So did you want to go over that, or would you like me to? Thought he was on.
There he is. There he is.
Good
Hey,
evening,
Doug.
Mr. Mayor, Councilors. How are you?
Hey,
Good.
don't worry.
Yeah, Lee has the bullet points, but if you need any further information, I'd be happy to weigh in.
So what we received today is that the schedule for the generator project for the Housing Authority and Senior Center is 9/25, the excavator to begin trenching the pad prep NEG to install conduits for the generator, tentative inspection for the trench and conduit, depending on town building department availability, backfill if possible. The 26th of September inspections, if unable to complete on the 25th, backfill, finish pad prep, the 27th, the floor pad, and then negative to check on the order of the equipment in the meantime. So it is progressing according to the information I have. There was a 17-week lead time, which put the time frame between October and December. And I believe, based on the information I have, that we're still on target for that.
Well, why so? I'm trying to think, when did we decide to pay for it? Remember, we had that discussion with, I think, the chairman there of the Housing Authority, Joe Bajorski, and we said, we'll just take care of it, which is fine. But it seems like that was
Almost a year ago.
well, I think a year ago, some of it was on the Housing Authority, right? And then I think he was looking for a grant. We said, forget that, we'll get it done. But I want to say, we took it over maybe 6 months ago. I don't think it was a year ago we took it over for the install. Yeah, I think it was on the Housing Authority for a while, once we gave him the generator. But now it's been some time since we said, don't worry about remember he had a funding problem, and we decided to just fund it to take care of the folks there. So that's been at least 3 months. I think 6 months.
Yeah, I think. it's
Yeah,
more than
I don't think it's a year, but I think it could be 6 months. So I'm just curious why it would take that long to install the generator. I understand sometimes there's equipment problems, but what do we think?
Doug, do you have some thoughts on that?
I do, yes, Mr. Mayor. It was
Yeah.
approved by council this past May. The
May,
funding
okay.
went to the Board of Finance in June. The purchase order and contract were issued in June. We did have a 17-week lead time, and they also had their summer schedule already
Gotcha.
booked out. So the correspondence way back when this was approved, it was very transparent that we had quite a long lead time for the main switchgear.
The switchgear, yeah.
I'm sorry, the main transfer switch. So that was going to put us out to about October. So they're back on track. They got through their summer workload. They realized that they want to get this pad in anticipation of the components showing up, but contractually it was by the end of this calendar year to have the project complete. So we still feel that we're tracking as what we knew based on the lead time of equipment and their schedule when this was approved. So
Okay, yeah,
So do we have the parts, Doug, that we needed, the switches?
I don't think
Still
so.
not, still don't have them.
No.
Do we have any idea where they are in the pipeline?
that's what they're tracking down for us is we're kind of getting a little more aggressive on where we're at and to make sure that we get this in before it gets too cold and the ground freezes. But they've been very receptive and kept in touch with us, and I don't have any concerns at this point. So
Okay, well, we appreciate you keeping on top of it. I mean, I do know from, the switchgear or the transfer, I know a lot of that equipment now is, there is long lead times on it, unfortunately, from company I work for. They have a lot of problems with getting electrical equipment. So, yeah, as long as you keep on it, they're in communication because it's been, I don't know, maybe a couple years since we started the whole generator thing, and not on the town. I'm sorry, that's on the housing authority. Not blaming anybody, but took a long time. We found a generator. We saved that funding. We had a generator. Our town folks fixed it up and I gave it to them, and we're still not done with it. So that's disturbing again for our folks in Percival Heights. You know, we're trying to take care of them with the generator, but I know it's moving forward now and appreciate it, Doug, keeping track of it, and Lee, so we get it done as timely as we can.
Yeah, we'll continue to give you further updates as we progress.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Okay. All right, that's it for my update. Sorry, a little bit long, but there was things we needed to get all you folks updated with too. So now on to our consent agenda. So we've got 5 items on the consent agenda. We have waiving Berlin traffic control fees for the Powerhouse Gym Thanksgiving 5K. Approving the police traffic control fees in the amount of $3,000 for the Fire for Miller held on October 6th. Accept donations of $100 for the police canine program. Accept a donation to the supplies expenditure account for the police department, and approve permission for consumption of alcoholic beverages at Pistol Creek Fire Department annual family picnic on September 28th. So those are our 5 items on the consent agenda. We reviewed these before the meeting, and if there's no questions or comments, we'll go ahead and take a motion on those items.
I move we accept the consent agenda as presented.
Thank you. Second on that. Thank you. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Right, so moved. All right, on to our agenda. Mr. Lee.
Okay, so new business, the first item is regarding the authorization for a non-budgeted appropriation of $75,000 from general fund unassigned fund balance fiscal year 25 to the Kensington Volunteer Fire Department grant account for the purchase of the property adjacent to Kensington Fire Department. The item is, and the map is included in the package, and heard about that as well tonight from some of the speakers.
Yeah, thank you, Lee. Yeah, so obviously we just discussed it in our town meeting, and we went over what it's about, how we got here, and how we can resolve it. So any questions from the council on anything? We all good? Okay, we'll go ahead and take a motion.
Move to appropriate $75,000 from the general fund unassigned fund balance fiscal year 25 to the Volunteer Fire Department grant account, and to provide a grant to the Kensington Volunteer Firemen's Association for the District of Kensington and Town of Berlin for its purchase of a portion of property located at 892 Farmington Avenue, adjacent to the Kensington Fire Department, to maintain its existing access drive to Farmington Avenue, and to refer this matter Corporation Council and to the Board of Finance. The funds shall be used solely for the purchase of the subject property and shall not be dispersed until the closing of the purchase. The purchase shall be subject to successful completion of a Phase 1 ESA title search survey and execution of a purchase and sale agreement and other customary closing documents.
All right, thank you. Second on that? Thank you. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right, so moved. Number 2.
Okay, number 2, to authorize the appropriation of $360,000 fiscal year 25 on budget appropriation of general fund unassigned fund balance to the Farmington Avenue non-grant account in the Economic Development Fund, and to refer this matter to the Board of Finance.
Yes, thank you. We just had the hearing on this, so we're good with it. We've explained it. Everyone gets it, so we'll go ahead and take a motion.
Move to appropriate $360,000 in fiscal year 25 non-budgeted appropriation of general fund unassigned fund balance to the Farmington Avenue non-grant account in the Economic Development Fund, and to refer this matter to the Board of Finance.
Thank you. Second. Thank you. Any other last minute comments or questions? Council, hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right, so moved.
Okay, and topic 3 is to authorize 7,000 in funding from the open space in lieu of fee account for title search and appraisal, review appraisal, and a phase 1 environmental site assessment related to the potential acquisition of map 25-4, block 74, lot 49, 0 Chamberlain Highway.
Okay, thank you. Well, we heard obviously some folks from our land trust and we talked about this last time. So, yeah, we want to do a title search obviously to see what, make sure it all looks good. What do you folks think? All right with that? Everybody good with that? All right, so we'll go ahead and take a motion on that. Where's our motion trailer? There it is.
Move to authorize the $7,000 in funding from the open space account for a title search and appraisal review, appraisal and phase 1 environmental site assessment related to the potential acquisition of map 25-4, block 74, lot 49, 0 Chamberlain Highway.
Take a second. Thanks, Donna. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, all is in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right, so moved.
Item number 4 is the authorization for the interim town manager to enter an extension to the exclusive negotiation agreement with the Vesta Corporation or Reardon Janney Architects for the sale of the former Knights of Columbus property at 143 Percival Avenue for the development of senior housing.
Okay, so maybe Jeff, so how are we doing with this?
It's going fine. I mean, there's some initial due diligence on the environmental front that's been undertaken, or is about to begin.
Okay,
You know, we just need some time to get the draft purchase and sale agreement together.
okay. And then we could discuss how we, whatever we do after that with this, yeah. So, yeah, and then this is the, obviously the, hopefully to be the new developer for our senior housing project, which, talking about waiting a long time, we waited a very long time for this to happen, and hopefully we're getting much closer with this new developer. So we'll wait and see how they finish up, and then we could finish, you know, any negotiations with them before we move forward with it. But we hope to move this forward as quickly as we can. So we're happy that we have picked this developer and they've got a lot of experience. So we'll see how this goes. Hopefully it'll be a shorter period of time before we can get this going. So anyway.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, please.
I would,
Yes,
I'd just like to give you a quick update. I did have a call with Vesta and Department of Housing and the Connecticut Housing Finance Authority today. And then Vesta was presenting, you know, their conceptual approach to the project. They have an application, Department of Housing has an application deadline process coming up for new projects. So Vesta's planning on applying. That process starts on the 23rd and goes beyond that, but it's a relatively quick process. But at any rate, the major point is that the funding agencies seem to be very receptive to the project. And it was a very positive and encouraging call. So I think that Vesta and Reardon Magani, they're going to be proceeding now with developing more detailed site plans, and we'll report to you as this progresses. And as Jeff said, we expect to come back to you with a request to convert it to a purchase agreement from the exclusive negotiating agreement. We'll have more updates for you at that time.
okay, great. Well, that's good to hear, Jim. Thanks for that update. Yeah, that's excellent. Questions? Any questions for Jim? We good? Okay, thanks, Jeff. Thanks, Jim. Motion?
Move to authorize the interim town manager to extend a duration of the exclusive negotiating agreement with Vesta Corporation, Aurora Magani Architects, with Vesta Corporation, Aurora Magani Architects, concerning the sale of the former Knights of Columbus property at 143 Percival Avenue for development as affordable senior housing to a new expiration date of November 15th, 2024, subject to the review and approval by Corporation Council.
Thank you. Second? Thank you. Any other comments or questions on this? Hearing none. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? So moved.
Thank you.
Item 5 is to authorize the interim town manager to amend the SLR International Corporation's contract, the Spruce Brook Road Bridge Replacement Project, to include the updated scope of services and fees in the amount of $108,030 with a 15% contingency for a total not to exceed the amount of $124,235.
Okay, thank you. Anything, Mike, on this? Yeah, come just for a minute, just so, I mean, we know this is been talking about this for a while.
Yeah.
So we're doing good, I guess?
It's actually good news.
Yeah,
Because
that's good.
recall, I came before you and asked for permission to withdraw from the old local bridge program, which had a 31% reimbursement rate, and then reapply
That's right.
to the new one, which is 50%, and that actually got done.
Ah,
Just signed before he left, signed the commitment to fund
Nice.
for almost $1.6 million. The DOT is committed to the project. So
Well, that's great.
it was sort of a risk because we were without a program for a couple of months.
Right.
So I'm kind of happy that that's. all
Yes, that's
taken
good.
care of.
That's good.
So SLR has been they were Malone and McBroom before. They've just the name changed seems like every engineering firm is changing names. They have to update some design information. Basically, the bid package was already done for a couple of years, but because of our Army Corps permitting got held over, we have all the permits now. All SLR has to do is actually update the design drawings,
Yeah.
put a bid package on the street. We're trying to get this for construction for next spring.
Oh, nice.
So as part of that, and the historic element is like about $18,000 for historic consultants, because there's a Simeon North Pistol Factory element that we have to do a viewing area,
Right.
and there's an old dam and sort of the bridge components have things are on the National Register. So with all that said, if we get a little extra money, which we have in our account, to authorize them to get going, we can wrap this thing up.
That'd be great. And
When I
so,
say wrap it up, get going. on
get going.
it.
I know it won't be wrapped up that quickly, but no, at least we're starting, which is excellent. And this was all part of our discussion about that trailhead there, right? With the
Right,
bridge coming
right.
and all that. So and I know we're off topic, but we're still,
We got the survey, actually.
oh, we did.
Yeah. So I'm gonna be sending a note around to everyone who
Well,
was on that meeting.
Talk about it again or something. Yeah, okay, great. That's
And
fine.
Just so you know, I
Yep.
didn't show any encroachments from the residential property there.
Okay.
We actually might be encroaching on our trail.
Oh,
Anyway,
okay.
the survey lines don't lie, so.
oh, that's
there'll be
good.
a little,
Sorry.
little note with the PDF of the survey.
Okay.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's good news too. So it's all good
Got it,
news.
I think Friday.
No, okay.
Yeah, I know. Everybody in town, it seemed, was like that.
So you have all good news tonight.
I hope so.
Everybody pretty much had all good news tonight. That's good. That's good. That's excellent.
Done.
Yeah, we're not done yet. Yeah, well, let's not jinx it. Any questions for Mike?
No.
Okay, we're good. Thank you. Appreciate it, Mike.
Just stay up here for the next one. too?
Oh, yes, sure. If you're, yes, let's do it. So we'll take a motion on this one first.
Move to authorize the interim town manager to amend SLR International Corporation's contract for the Spruce Brook Road Bridge Replacement Project to include the updated scope of services and fees in the amount of $108,030 with a 15% contingency for a total not to exceed the amount of $124,235.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Since we had no comments or questions, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right, so moved.
Item number 55.
The revised, gave us the revised one, right? We see it here. Yes, we
It's
see
all my
it.
fault.
It's all your fault. Oh, come on now. We're good. We have it.
May I explain what happened? or-
Sure.
Sure, why don't I
Yes.
explain the
Okay.
Item, and then you can explain the basis for it.
Right.
So essentially, the change, the revision, moves to reduce the construction contingency on the additions and renovations to the Berlin Department Headquarter Project by 79,675, which is different from the 60,000 that was in the original item. So Mike, if you want to explain
Sure.
the basis for that.
You might recall, you referred the camera monitoring system for the police department to the PBC and said, is it in or out of the project? And if it's out, reduce the contingency to free up the $60,000 so that PD can get there. Essentially, the project has all the wiring and cameras, but it goes back to the server room and the equipment that was back there is done. Toast. So the PD needs to replace that. So that happened at the August 8th PBC meeting. Last Thursday, another request came in for technology stuff, which has to do, I think, with the access control systems as well. And Siemens is a sole source provider, I believe, to the PD. So the PBC, after hearing the rationale, requested me to come in and reduce the contingency for another $19,675. So that happened Thursday night. I thought I would have to come to a separate town council meeting. I got special dispensation to slide into this one. So, and it's saving you some work because I don't have to do this next, 2 weeks.
Yeah, oh, that's good. That's always good. Saving work is good, yeah.
And the PBC is comfortable that the contingency is still sufficient. Because the project's been going along very well.
Good, okay.
So that's sort of the rationale.
Yeah, that's good.
My, disclaimers.
No, we're good. Okay, appreciate that. Questions for Mike? Anybody have questions? If not, we're glad it's all going well with the renovation, to our chief and deputy chief in the back, and, it's coming along pretty well from my understanding, getting close to, getting finished actually, huh? Finally, huh? A long time coming, but anyway, okay, with that, we'll go ahead and take a motion on this one.
Move to reduce the construction contingency on the additions and renovations to the Berlin Police Department headquarters project at 240 Kensington Road by $79,675 as approved by the Public Building Commission to allow the police department to purchase the required updated camera monitoring and technology systems.
Second on that?
I'll second that.
Thanks, Donna. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none. All those in favor? Opposed? So moved.
Thanks very much.
Thanks, Mike. Number 7, lucky number 7.
Speaking of police department.
Yes.
Number 7 is to approve the awarding of the contract to NextGen for CAD RMS systems and equipment using funds provided in the computer support account up to 58,000, since this is a sole source provider.
All right. Yeah, questions? Glad to see. No, we have no choice.
Do it.
No, but I mean, we got to do all
it.
this stuff. No, I'm glad we're doing all this stuff. Yeah, no, we need to do it, and we need to upgrade our PD so they could be effective, obviously. So, yeah, we're all good. We'll go ahead and take a motion.
Move to approve awarding the contract to NextGen for CAD RMS systems and equipment using funds provided in the computer support account up to $58,000, since this is a sole source provider.
All right, thank you. Second?
I'll second that.
Thank you. Hearing no questions or comments, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
And item 8 is to approve the waiving of the town's bidding requirements for Norcom and approve the purchase of the Avalon video security system using funds as are available in the buildings and renovations account up to $60,000, as this is in the best interest of the site.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, this is we had talked about this obviously earlier, and we're happy to see this going forward too. We're happy we found the funding for it, and the police department's happy, I assume, the leadership here. Yes, everybody's good. All right, excellent. So with that, we'll go ahead and take a motion.
Move to approve waiving the town's bidding requirements for Norcom and approve the purchase for the Avalon video security system using funds as are available in the buildings and renovations account up to $60,000, as this is in the best interest of the town.
You second on that?
I'll second that.
Thank you. No other comments or questions? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? So moved. Thank you. All right. Good on that.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah, thank you, guys. Back on track here, right? Moving along, good, excellent. All right, where are we at now?
Appointments.
Appointments, we're at appointments. Yes, we are. What do we have here? What do we have here? Okay,
You have one for the cemetery committee.
oh, okay,
and
yes,
Alternate.
okay,
So,
okay. All right, we'll go ahead and take a nomination.
I would like to nominate Mr. Joseph Kirowick,
See you guys.
the fourth for the Cemetery Commission.
Yeah. Thank you.
Guys.
All right, okay, thank you. Any other nominations? Hearing none, we'll go ahead and close the nominations and vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right. Welcome, Mr. Joseph, to our cemetery committee. Okay. All right, we are at the town manager's report, amazingly enough.
Ooh.
Wow, okay, record time. For now, I
Yeah,
always
right.
jinx it now. We're good. I think we're good. I think we're good.
Well, mine's gonna be real brief.
Oh, well, there we go. See,
Everything I was gonna talk about, the mayor brought
did I
up.
steal your thunder?
There you
I'm
go.
sorry, it's gonna
Sorry.
provide those updates based on the questions. from the
All
council.
right, so we got it done early tonight when we were all still paying attention. No, I'm just kidding.
There you go.
So.
As a general note, everything I think is going very well. I'm enjoying my tenure here.
Are you? Good.
Good.
And I think that we're moving forward and hopefully getting a lot accomplished and helping the council in whatever way we can, so.
Thank you.
Well, appreciate that, Lee, stepping in as you have, and I know it's not easy to step into something like this, but I know you have years and years of experience, and from what I could see in dealing with you personally, you're doing a great job. I think the council agrees with that, and
Yeah.
sure, Jeff and Kate can also agree that. Appreciate you being here and getting us through the timeframe till we hire our.
Thank you for letting me be here.
Yeah, all right, so good, all right, appreciate that. So on to our, special committee reports, of which there are none, right? No, okay. On to our counselor communications. What do we have, folks? Anything you'd like to say? Yes, sir.
Last week I attended a meeting at the Mattabesset District Commission headquarters.
God bless you, Charlie,
Mhm.
and Donna.
It was
You were both there.
full.
Yes, I'm sure you were.
Everything went downhill.
Yeah.
It was.
Everything went to,
Yeah.
yeah, we won't go there either, but yeah.
The meeting was moderated by their engineer in charge, Mr. Simonian. I don't know if anybody's familiar with him? He used to be our town
Public Works.
Public Works Director and town engineer, so he's quite familiar with our issues here. And there was a couple of representatives from the two other water districts in our metropolis. We have 3 water departments to deal with, and DEP had a couple of representatives. The EPA was there from the federal government. Representative Veach was there, a couple of commissioners from our water department. And without getting too technical, the town of Berlin gets billed when we exceed our estimated flow to the Mattabesset. They give us a projected amount of water that we use, and the sewage should reflect that. And when we exceed that by a large amount, basically we're penalized. We get charged a higher rate. And the DEP considers this a very serious matter because it actually puts the Mattabesset over their permitted flow rate. Their secondary system can't handle all the rainwater we're sending there. And for years, it's gone back and forth, which water department's at fault and this and that, but it's a town-wide issue. And part of it relates back to what I've been working on with the Mattabesset River backing up the stormwater system also affects our sewer system because that extra rainwater can get into the system in various ways. Berlin's the great swamp. We're underwater anyways. And we really need to address maintaining the system, as Mr. Dream has preached to us many times. The other 2 districts seem to have fallen behind in their maintenance. And we suggested a meeting of the three districts many times. But Mr. Paglaruli, who represented two of the districts, he's a license holder for two districts and the town of Bristol, that he was never approached for a meeting. But we know that's not quite the case.
know
I
Mr.
suggested to the DEP and the EPA that they might help us moderate such a meeting. And they want nothing to do with it. They said it's a town issue, but they're insistent this is a very big problem. It's a matter of health and safety. They have reports of sewage backing up to people's cellar and everything. It's so serious, they may send a stern letter to some of these departments. That's their, they don't
A
fine, they
stern
don't.
letter.
Stern letter, perhaps a
Whoa.
fine.
Well,
okay?
fine would not be good.
No
No.
fine, they don't fine.
Well, they don't, but they did indicate that there may be
Fines.
another entity
Oh, boy.
that might be able to fine.
Well,
That's not good.
the problem is, if there's a fine, it'll be levied, I think, townwide. This is a townwide issue. Somehow we have to bring these folks
We need a meeting.
to the
We
meeting
need a meeting.
and decide how we're gonna approach
He
this.
did represent that we'd have a meeting to the folks, right?
Well, he said that he would, and that, what was his name? That was,
Paglaruri.
yeah, I don't know him personally, but he said that he would be open, but I think that in meeting last night, that they, mentioned that we wanted to do this meeting. I think that he was shut down and they didn't want to discuss having a meeting.
What?
I'm not quite sure how we approach this. We got a problem.
But this goes beyond pointing the finger and they're not fixing their pipes and this and that. We gotta look at our stormwater issues. We gotta look at how it affects the whole community and our health. I just don't know how to get that to the public. The public could eliminate the two districts by voting them out of existence and bring us as one unit. But, sitting here for 12 years, listening to the same issue, I just don't know which way to go at this point.
What do we think, Mr. Jeff? What are we thinking?
Well, if you recall, the pitch that was made to the council, that the council supported, was an RFP to have a system study, townwide system study and cost of service analysis done. So the town did the RFP. AFD and WFD were invited formally to participate in reviewing the RFP. They declined. We procured Haley Ward and Ralph Tellis to perform the system study and the cost of service study. They indicated that there were documents that they needed. We submitted FOI requests to WFD and KFD to get information from them that's responsive. They didn't have some of the information that was fairly basic in nature, but they've given us enough for Haley Ward and Ralph Tellis to proceed with their work. So that's in process. There's also, some other items that I've talked to BWCC about in terms of Baxter Ave, the new meter that was installed, in terms of the allocation of the Mattabassett bill between BWCC, which probably has about 2% of the flow, and the other districts. So there's a lot going on behind the scenes right now, but until that study is done, which is completely independent, we're not, we hired outside professionals, outside consultants to perform a completely independent report so that they can provide the residents of Berlin with an unbiased opinion about, what is the state of the three water districts, all three. We're not limiting it to WFD and KFD, in terms of infrastructure planning, long-term capital planning, cost of service, financial standing, infrastructure needs, that's all being looked at. So, once we have that report, we'll have a lot of direction in terms of where to go with this.
Do we have any idea when we're gonna get that report?
I haven't had any direct communication with the consultants.
Can we reach out to them just to?
I can find out. I think Mike probably has a better idea.
Because I think it's getting heated, at least,
Well, it's been heated for a long.
I felt my chair was real warm Friday, let's put it that way.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you too for going to that meeting.
They-
Appreciate that.
We're all boring, we're all technical.
Yeah.
They call it I&I, basically rainwater getting into the sewer pipes.
Yeah.
And it's not impossible to deal with. New Britain has been having an ongoing program and updating, relining a lot of their pipes. And they've reduced theirs by quite a
They-
bit in the last 5 years.
Really, huh?
They made
Whatever
big
they've
innovations.
done,
So the technology's out there, but we just gotta start working together at it.
Well, I mean, it's a very common problem in the United States. The water and wastewater industry is severely fragmented. EPA, I think, just issued their 7th report to Congress on the fragmentation in the water industry. Now, there's like 158,000 water utilities in the United States,
Wow.
compared to 3,000 electric utilities and a little bit less than that, natural gas utilities. So you have a lot of these little systems that don't want to consolidate, even though consolidation really represents the most significant opportunity for efficiencies and synergies, because you've got this collision course that's going on in the drinking water business right now. Even in the United States, which is, the United States is worldwide one of the wealthier countries when it comes to water. There's a significant water scarcity issue in the world. There's about 2 billion people that don't have access on a daily basis to potable drinking water. But what you have in the United States right now is you have 25 years of declining consumption, a little over 1% a year since 1999, due in part to passive conservation. Since 1994, we've had low flow appliances, right?
Oh, okay.
And in part due to active conservation, because rates have gradually gone up. And as well as a big press on conservation, right, as part of climate change. So you have, on the one hand, declining consumption, which means declining water revenue. On the other hand, you have increasing water infrastructure costs because the infrastructure is aging, and you have two of the most significant federal mandates in the history of the country. One is the lead and copper rule, which requires the drinking water utilities to inventory by the end of next month their lead service lines, issue a report to the State Department of Public Health, and a 10-year plan. In Connecticut alone, it's probably about $1 billion issue, lead and copper. And then PFAS, which is the new toxic tort. You've read about actions against a couple of the utilities, investor-owned utilities in Connecticut by the AG's office for excessive PFAS levels. So you have these significant infrastructure and capital investments that are required at a time when you have declining consumption, declining water sales. So something needs to happen. And, the Government Accountability Office, the EPA, the White House, there's all kinds of information published over the last 5 years. And I just gave testimony at 3 public hearings, August 22nd and August 27th, on South Central Connecticut Regional Water Authority's application to bid to acquire Aquarion from Eversource. And, one of the big issues that people don't understand is water's taken for granted. And Connecticut, especially Southern Connecticut, has an abundance of it. So, interconnection opportunities to distribute water to areas that don't have an abundance of it are often overlooked. And water, like I said, is very much taken for granted. It's the cheapest utility. It's less, public water is less than a penny a gallon. How much did you pay for that 16-ounce bottle? $4?
Not more than that, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's, it's all coming to a head. And the BWCCW, Worthington and Kensington issues are all coming to a head at the same time. But really what needs to happen is that the state needs to be on the same page. DEEP and EPA need to be on the same page. Because there's all these initiatives at the state level, there's all these initiatives at the federal level, there's all these initiatives at the local level, but there's no consistency. There's no collaboration between local, state, and federal. And I'm telling you, it's too important an issue. Something like Flint, Michigan happened, right? And everybody focuses on, oh, people went to jail. People died. And we're not that far removed. Public drinking, I could talk about this all night. Public drinking water, you thought you were gonna have a short meeting. Public drinking water has only been treated in this country for about 110 years. If you go back to the early 20th century, the wealthy people that had drinking water in their homes got it pumped directly from a reservoir. It wasn't even treated. So a lot of the infrastructure, pump stations, for example, treatment facilities, a lot of the infrastructure is, 75 years old. It's coming out of its life right now. So there's definitely, my big concern with Worthington and Kensington is on the infrastructure side. Because from what I've seen from the FOI request that I did, there are no capital plans. And when there are no capital, they told me that they exist, but they're just not in writing. And from my perspective, it's
The concept of a plan.
well, it's not, it goes, there's best practices, right? Best practices when it comes to utility capital planning involves some sort of capital prioritization process where you rank the priority of your capital needs based on public health and safety, regulatory and legal mandates, efficiency, right? So that's a best practice. Forget that. A simple practice would be to actually have an Excel spreadsheet where you say, all right, over the next 5 years, here's what our capital needs are, right? You've got treatment, you've got distribution, et cetera, pipe relining, whatever, main replacement. There's no document. So, that raises concerns. I don't know, without a real plan, I don't know how you set rates. I don't know how you establish the financial framework you need to be a responsible utility. And, the thing that I'm concerned about as town attorney is the way this whole thing is structured is if it goes sideways, the town is going to inherit the debt and the mess.
Yes, indeed.
So what we're trying to do is get a handle on what's there and get some professional independent so that nobody feels like it's personal or,
Yeah, right.
it's nothing, all it's about from my perspective and all the meetings I've had with BWCC, I've emphasized it's all about the consumer. It's all about the person that relies on the water to drink, to bathe their kids, to wash their clothes, to wash their dishes, to water their lawns. That's all this is about. It's what's the best, safest, least expensive method of doing this in the small town of Berlin that has 3 utilities. That's it. I shut up now.
That's the short version.
That's the
Yes.
Reader's Digest version.
We appreciate, no, that's good. That's a good, no, it's
I've got
good.
16 years of doing this as the Consumer Counsel for Regional Water.
Yeah,
So I spent probably thousands of hours
yeah.
studying what the industry's doing, what other water utilities are doing, and what the best practices are.
Mm.
And, it's something that I'm kind of passionate about because, water's life.
We
So-
turn on our faucet, we want
can
clean
live
water,
without
right?
your-
That's the way it goes.
Cliff bars, but
Yeah.
Can't really do anything until we have the report.
yeah, we need
Wait
it.
for that.
So can you?
I'll find
will you
out.
Check and find out, and then
Yeah.
we can move forward and make a meeting after that, plan a
bet.
meeting. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
You bet.
Appreciate that, Jeff, and thank Donna and Charlie for having a fun time. How many hours was the meeting? Oh, nice. Okay, good. Oh, that's
I
good.
don't know, flies when you're having that much fun.
Appreciate that, Jeff, and keep an eye on that thing, and I know, it's coming to a head at some point. All right, thank you. So we're good with that. Any other council communications? Sorry.
Oh,
Oh, yes.
we do something to recognize the 12U softball team in town.
Yes, yes.
We do something,
So-
can we actually do it? They won sections, they won district and section 2.
Yeah,
They
cool.
lost in the state tournament.
So,
Haven't done anything, I'd like to do that.
Who,
Do you have the information?
yeah.
can give them citations.
We
from
can-
the state level
I can get it.
local?
You want like the names of the team and. the
who should we
coaches?
contact
Coach,
to
yeah.
kind of get,
Is the head coach or was the head coach of the team.
who's
the
it? So
league.
could we get the name to Lee, and Lee could start working on that? Yeah, talk to them a little bit, see what they are available for, when and how. I mean, a council meeting, I assume, right? Or what do you want to
Yeah,
do?
That's what I was.
Does that make sense? Yeah, okay, yeah,
That would be
right?
great.
Yeah, yeah, that's good, yeah.
The head of
brought it
the
up.
little league and the.
Yeah, we'll do a proclamation. Donna could get one from the state.
If you send it to my office, then we can work on it up there. Thank you.
Yeah, so
Thanks, guys.
we'll both, no, that's good. Thank you. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you for reminding us. Yeah, you did mention it. Yeah, so yeah, give us the contact and we'll work on it, Leo. Get it together and that's all good. It's all positive. Positive. So anyone else?
I would just,
Yes.
I
yeah.
just wanted to thank the Lions for a
Yeah.
great fair.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Got the good weather.
Yes.
I don't know how they pulled those strings, but that was great.
Yeah, it worked out.
But it was a good crowd, good fair. Thanks to the
It's a
police
fun time.
department for the traffic
Yeah,
and everything. It
absolutely.
was just very well done and much appreciated.
Yes. It was
The
successful.
second that, it was a huge crowd, I think almost unexpected, and
Yeah.
everybody was safe. I know there were a few lines, but it went really well. The police, all the first responders, and the Lions did a great job.
Yes, it was good.
Peter and Mark and myself and Jack, showing up for the opening ceremonies, and
Yeah.
it was nice. It was hot. It
Was hot.
but it was
Yeah.
nice.
Didn't rain though. That's a good thing. Yeah, 75 years. So that's quite the milestone, right? And it goes back further than that before the Lions took it over, but yeah. Yeah, it all worked out well. So yeah, it was a fun time. Thanks, Sandy, for.
Congratulations to Kate on her award.
Yes, right, yes. Well, so the date is what again? Tell us so we all get the date and the time and the place. So we try and make it there.
It is October 16th.
Yeah,
It is 5:30 to 7:30 at the Mark Twain House in Hartford.
Yeah.
And there'll be hors d'oeuvres and an open bar. The tickets are $30.
What about the McDonald's part you were talking about?
yeah, yeah. What did you say about McDonald's? What did you say, Kate?
I'll treat
Wait.
you all to McDonald's afterwards. That's all
Yes.
I can afford.
Yes.
You can't go to McDonald's on $30 anymore.
No, that's, yeah, you're right. That's probably not gonna happen, but
It was unexpected. It was very nice.
Well deserved.
Well earned.
Yep,
yeah, that's great, Kate.
not surprised.
No, not at all. We're proud of you and we'll, yes,
Mr.
yes.
Stoll, you're still on.
no. Doug,
You're
Doug.
still with us. Are congratulations in order?
I was gonna say.
Oh,
Okay.
what?
I don't know.
Doug, are you there? Hello.
Might-
I understand he has a newborn in the family.
Oh, very nice,
Congratulations.
Doug.
In a small town, you thought you were gonna hide
Yeah.
that from us. We know everything.
Healthy baby boy. Thank you all for the congrats and the
Oh,
wishes.
Very nice.
When did that, when did that occur, Doug?
Last Monday afternoon.
Oh, last Monday. So you're tired a little tired now?
I promise you'll sleep someday. Don't worry.
Sleep has been incremental. so
Right.
Wife and baby are doing well though. Thank you.
Probably never any sleeping anymore, so that's all right.
They
big
go
was
to
the baby?
college a little bit.
Maybe, a little bit when they go to college, yeah.
How big was the baby?
8-12.
Oh,
Whoa.
good size baby.
Wow, nice. Future,
It's like they're fish. It's like
future football player, maybe, right? Who knows, right? Or whatever.
Could be a red coat.
There you
There
go,
you
there
go.
we go. Excellent. Yeah, that's great.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Very nice. Good, okay. We good with everything
Oh,
else?
good, yeah.
So just a motion to approve our,
I move we accept the minutes of September 3rd's meeting as presented.
thank you, second.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, so moved. That's fine. We're good. Now we're good. We're good. We're good. It's all good. Oh, yes. Well,
Very passionate about the issue.
understood.
Water's here.
I think we all are, especially when we can't, we're gonna have problems in the future.
Got a mix.
So where are we at? So now we are on our executive session, right?
We move into executive session for pending litigations. Connecticut General Statute 1-206. B, strategy and negotiations with respect to pending claims or pending litigation.
Thank you. Second on that?
I'll second that.
All right, so
Ask the attorney, our attorney to
attorney
join
to
us.
join us, the town manager to join us, and that's it, right? So we need, and Kate will,
Time is 8:13.
8:13, we'll take a couple minutes.